Every single day I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what did you do to yourself?
Some days I want to die so they don't have to take care of me anymore.
She's very sick. She needs help real quick.
You know, it's one thing to watch someone tackle their weight loss journey, but it's another to see them navigate the twists and turns of dieting while being surrounded by temptation. And let me tell you, Brittany Fulfer's story, it's a roller coaster.
To be inside of my body, it is pain. It is sadness. Most of the time, I'm like, maybe it'd be better if I just don't wake up, because every single day I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what did you do to yourself?
Brittany stepped into the spotlight, vowing to conquer her lifelong battle with obesity, a struggle so intense that even standing up for 45 seconds wiped her out. Can you believe it? Just 45 seconds. Now, let's see how her journey unfolds with these monumental challenges. But here's the twist, folks. She wasn't too keen on following all the doctor's orders. Spoiler alert, this attitude leads to some pretty insane moments.
I think about food non-stop, from the moment I wake up till the moment I go to bed. And I know that's not normal. But I can't remember a time when food wasn't the most important thing to me.
So, Brittany's weight issues started early on. By age 10, she was already over 150 pounds, and by 13, tipping the scales between 230 and 240 pounds. And you know what? She began binge eating after some tough childhood experiences. Despite her increasing weight, Brittany lived a seemingly normal high school life, dating, prom nights, the whole shebang. But her view on her weight? She didn't see it as a problem, so the binge eating continued right after graduation. Now, you might be wondering, did she ever turn things around with her eating habits? Well, stick around.
Not many people can pinpoint when their life changed, but I can tell you my life changed when I was 5 years old. I was molested by a family member, and my abuse went on for 6 years. It still feels like it happened yesterday. It made me so confused about life. If that's what love is, then just keep it away from me.
After high school, Brittany's newfound independence led to more fast food and more binge eating. Hitting 400 pounds didn't slow her down. In her eyes, everything was still peachy. But deep down, she had bigger dreams. Dreams of starting a family. Unfortunately, her weight began to impact her fertility and brought on other health issues. It was then that things started to get really serious.
And I feel like the biggest person in the whole world, and I feel like all eyes are on me. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
I want to make Brittany happy any way I can. Chocolate ice cream or
the chocolate one?
I am a full-on enabler, and I am very aware I'm an enabler.
Yeah. Okay, are we done?
Actually, you're gonna have to park here for a minute.
Why?
I gotta get the mac and cheese.
Oh.
That's when Brittany decided enough was enough and reached out to the legendary Dr. Now. Starting at a whopping 614 pounds, Dr. Now's prescription was clear. A strict 1-200 calorie diet and daily exercise, targeting a bold 75-pound loss in just 2 months. But the big question on everyone's mind, could she stick to this tough regimen?
Stress, depression, anxiety, but I also eat when I'm happy and when things are going good. I just eat.
Brittany clearly is a compulsive eater. This type of behavior is usually a result of emotional trauma. When an enabler is involved, it is one of the most difficult dynamics to break. So you're overweight and he's overweight.
Yeah.
On her second visit, Brittany had only managed to drop down to 570 pounds, far from her target. When confronted by Dr. Now, she got defensive, telling him, "I'm not gonna follow everything you say, doctor." Yikes, talk about tension! But despite this rocky start, Brittany committed to the 1-200 calorie grind. Dr. Now also recommended therapy with Dr. Paradise, who suggested Brittany write a letter to her late mom to help process her grief. But how does this impact her progress? Let's find out.
Every everything I've done has to have been enough.
570.
I'm a little discouraged right now. I don't feel like it's quite the victory I wanted. And I'm scared the doctor's going to tell me that this isn't enough.
Hello.
By her third appointment, Brittany had dropped to 543 pounds and received a new goal. With the help of Dr. Now and a successful gastric bypass, Brittany managed to shed 230 pounds by the end of her year-long weight loss journey and began addressing her compulsive eating with a therapist. It's inspiring, isn't it? Seeing someone turn their life around like that.
I'm just scared I'm not gonna wake up. All I've ever wanted was to be a wife and a mother, and I'm not stopping for anything.
Deep breaths, Brittany. Deep breath.
Today we're going to do gastric bypass on Brittany. Gastric bypass is the most effective method of weight loss surgery. We're gonna start making incision. Before surgery, the patient's stomach can be as big as a football.
TLC caught up with Brittany in the follow-up series, My 600 LB Life, Where Are They Now? In 2017 and 2018. These updates revealed that she'd shed even more weight and underwent surgery to remove the excess skin left after her weight loss. Plus, her relationship with her husband Bill had grown stronger, and they were even considering trying for a baby. How awesome is that?
It's been almost a year since I decided to start getting healthy and to do what it takes to get my life back. I'm really hoping that I see around 380 because I have been working really hard. I've had moments of doubt and moments of fear, but I've slowly made good progress, and I'm starting to let those fears go.
375.
That's awesome.
Let's talk about Laura Perez, whose journey from 594 pounds to a staggering transformation had us all glued to our screens. But folks, it wasn't just the weight loss that had us talking. It was the entire insane roller coaster that came with it. So, Laura's battle with weight began under some really tough circumstances. From the tender age of 5, she found comfort in food after a traumatic incident with a cousin. You know, it's heartbreaking how often we see food becoming a refuge in times of pain.
But I started to gain weight when I was 5. An older cousin of mine molested me. He would just touch me and stuff.
And Laura thought getting bigger could shield her from harm, a sad reflection of how our minds can trick us into false safety. And then, as if life hadn't thrown enough at her, her parents got divorced. Food became her go-to, reliable yet unhealthy companion. Man, the complexities of human emotions, right?
You're gonna break the desk. And I took all that anger and pain and kept eating. And by the time I was in high school, I was already over 300 pounds. I just kept putting on weight and getting bigger and bigger. And then I met Joey when I was 27.
Then enters Dr. Now, the no-nonsense hero of the show. If you've seen the show, you know he doesn't sugarcoat anything, probably because he'd make you work it off. Laura reached out to him, desperate to regain control of her spiraling health. Dr. Now set her up with a diet and exercise plan stricter than a high school principal. But let me tell you, changing habits set in like concrete? Not so simple.
I've never seen anybody that's overweight doesn't have enable people around them support them. It should be the opposite. They should tell you you shouldn't have that. I see you carrying oxygen with you all the time?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you are diabetic? Now, Laura is at her limit, and the family is the one pushing her there. She carry an oxygen tank with her because she can no longer breathe on her own.
Throughout her journey on the show, Laura's battle with her diet was as evident as a donut in a gym. Despite her best intentions and Dr. Now's clear plan, those old habits clung on tighter than a cat on a curtain. It's like, you know what you need to do, but doing it? That's a whole other story. How many of you can relate to that struggle?
No sweet. This is gonna be your trial period. And I need you to lose 50 pounds over the next couple months. You think you can do that?
Yes, I will do it.
Okay. Laura has a whole environment of enabler that will be very hard to address. All right, nice to meet you guys.
Likewise, Doctor.
Okay. We'll see how she does over the next couple months.
Laura's family was her rock, always there, cooking up storms and keeping traditions alive, even if those traditions might not have been the healthiest. At one point, things got really tough for Laura and her husband Joey. They even faced homelessness. Can you imagine dealing with eviction on top of everything else? Her sister stepped up and gave them a place to stay. It really shows the power of family, doesn't it?
As much as possible. So I've been trying to do that.
What she's eating now is a lot of salads and vegetables and stuff like that. She's really sticking to her diet, so I'm happy about that.
Joey's been really supportive.
Now, Laura's weight loss journey was far from smooth. Instead of the planned gastric bypass, Dr. Now had to perform a gastrectomy because of her enlarged liver and spleen. She almost died of pneumonia post-surgery. But guess what? She pulled through and dropped an incredible 237 pounds by the end of her TLC stint, slimming down to 182 pounds. Talk about a fighter!
Her surgery did not go as we planned, but we accomplished some sort of weight loss operation. But under circumstances, that's the only tool we can offer for Laura. So she should recover well, and she should still start losing weight when she go home.
But here's the kicker. Laura's transformation strained her marriage. Joey, her husband, didn't take well to her losing weight. It seems he might have been enabling her previous lifestyle, and her new independence didn't sit well with him. The more she succeeded, the less interested he became in the marriage. And when Laura decided to get a job, well, that might have been the last straw. Joey wanted her to stay home. But Laura, she was not having any of it anymore.
I feel like a new person. I can shop at more places like normal people do. I feel great about myself. I'm really happy. I've never worn a dress. This is my first dress. A year ago, I would have never thought I'd make it this far.
Christina Phillips' battle with obesity was as insane as it was heart-rending. Now imagine grappling with high blood pressure, heart problems, diabetes, blood clots, and arthritis, all at once. For Christina, just standing for a few minutes was a monumental ordeal. So let's unpack her journey and see what we can learn from her incredible fight against the odds.
I'm trapped inside this body that I don't want to be in. I can't go out anymore. I can't even drive anymore. I never thought I'd get this big.
Christina's relationship with food was complicated. It was her comfort and her escape from reality. Picture this. The opening scene of her episode shows her struggling to leave her house to get some food. And then, boom, her car won't start. Talk about feeling trapped. Not just by physical walls, but by her food addiction as well. It's like when you're craving a midnight snack but realize you're out of cookies and now it's too late to go out. Except imagine that feeling amplified 100 times.
My parents would fight and argue a lot when I was younger. It was scary. I think that might be part of the reason why I turned to food. When I was 17, I stepped on the scale and it was like close to 400. You know, and I couldn't believe it. I never thought that I'd weigh that much.
Now, to understand why Christina got to where she was, we need to look back at her childhood, a time of instability and tragedy. Raised by her grandparents while her parents were out of the picture, her world shattered when her grandfather, who was her rock, died of a heart attack right in front of her at just 5 years old. Afterwards, living with her mom meant a steady diet of fast food, a foundation for a lifelong struggle with weight. It's a stark reminder of how our early environment can set the trajectory for our health.
She's always been thick, but when she got about 18 or so, that's when it just went farther. Since she's gotten like this, it's hard.
And around 18, I started getting these tumor-like masses on my legs. This is the lymphedema in my right leg, and I have it on the side. It disgusts me to look at my legs.
Determined to change her life, Christina traveled to Houston to meet the no-nonsense Dr. Now, a man who's turned into the last hope for many. Imagine the scene, arriving at the airport needing not one but 2 wheelchairs. The humiliation and the stares from strangers could have broken anyone. But Christina? She pushed through, showing more courage than many of us could muster.
Let's fast forward down the road, what's going to happen. Because you will sabotage her weight loss.
No, I don't.
I guarantee you. She wouldn't be in that point if you didn't want
Right.
to. When you start losing weight, they feel they losing the grip on you.
During her first checkup, Christina weighed in at over 725 pounds, with a BMI of 117, the highest Dr. Now had ever seen. He set her on a strict 1,200-calorie diet, aiming for her to lose 100 pounds per month. The stakes were sky high, and it got me thinking, how many of us struggle with much smaller goals and feel they're impossible? Christina's challenge puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
I think it's mainly fluid, because I did good once I got back.
It's not water. For that, you have to drink at least 300 gallons of water. You gain weight because you feel comfortable with your eating.
We haven't been able to cook the proper foods.
You know, that's very typical. When you got an enabler here, when you ask a question, enabler would answer. So why don't you let her answer?
Now here's where it gets really inspiring. Not only did Christina meet these lofty expectations, but she also smashed them by losing over 200 pounds, making her eligible for weight loss surgery. Her dedication, post-surgery, was just as fierce, continuing to lose weight until she reached an astonishing 401 pounds.
Today, we're going to do her bypass surgery. You know, when we're dealing with somebody in her size, there's always a heavy abdominal wall that we have to battle with to get the instrument inside. We make a small stomach when it's the size of maybe 2 to 4 ounces, and then bypass rest of stomach and part of intestine. This will give opportunity for the person.
Despite her incredible progress, her health complications lingered, a harsh reminder of the long-term effects of severe obesity. It shows us that while physical weight can be shed, the journey towards complete health is often much longer and more complex than we might realize. It makes you think about the battles we all fight behind closed doors, some with their weight, others with their mental health or personal issues.
This is a whole new experience for me. I used to hide from the world, but now I can't wait to get out there. The last time I went to the grocery store was about 5 years ago. My relationship to food has changed completely. Now it's a lot better. I mean, I'm not tempted by foods that I used to be able to eat.
Okay, do you want to get some chicken? It's healthier. 0 grams of sugar.
Olivia Cruz came into the show with high stakes, a whopping 578 pounds and dreams of becoming a mom. Olivia's story is not just about shedding pounds, it's about her fight to reshape her entire life. So strap in, this is one wild ride.
My weight is killing me. It's hard. Just moving around is hard. With this weight hanging over my knees.
When Olivia reached out to Dr. Now, known for his no-nonsense approach, she was desperately looking for a miracle cure for her weight issues. Honestly, who wouldn't hope for a quick fix? But as many of us know, real change requires more than just wishing. It demands hard work and persistence.
Like you had a lot of issues in the past, and you had the lap band surgery?
I had an experimental surgery. They cut 4 inches of my intestines. And the second surgery was the lap band, which I have now.
The thing is kind of mind-boggling is you still continue eating?
At first, Olivia was like a magician. Now you see her, now you don't. She started missing appointments with Dr. Now, coming up with a new excuse every time. It was a cycle of excitement followed by disappearance. I mean, haven't we all been there at some point, fired up about a new goal, only to find ourselves slipping back to old ways? Did Olivia manage to break this cycle? Keep watching to find out.
Oh, my knee hurts, guys.
You need to sit down?
I think so.
Can you?
Not today, Sal. I can't go up there. My knee hurts. I want to come out of this body.
Despite these early hiccups, Olivia did find her footing and got back on track. And yes, she was approved for bariatric surgery. Post-surgery, the pounds started melting away. And by the end of her time on the show, she had transformed, dropping down to an incredible 266 pounds. It's the kind of turnaround that gives you goosebumps, right?
Different about my body now. I'm starting to feel bones on my body that you couldn't see before. I've noticed my face. I can actually see like a jawline sometimes. It's a struggle trying to walk the stairs. But I do it.
But that's not all. Olivia's personal life took some dramatic turns too. While managing her weight and new role as a mom, her marriage began to feel the strain. After deciding her husband Chris would go back to work while she stayed home, Olivia found herself missing her job and the social interactions that came with it. Eventually, this strain led to their divorce, though they remained committed to co-parenting. It's a reminder that sometimes life reshuffles our plans in ways we never see coming.
Legs, my knees, my thighs. Before, this leg was the size of this. It's amazing to see my legs like this. I think another 100 pounds lost. I think I'm at where I want to be. Hello!
We're here to take you home.
I'm excited. The last time I felt this free would probably be in grammar school. I do things that I couldn't do before. I couldn't pull up my socks. I couldn't touch my toes. And my family really never saw me